Leo friends? Welcome to my channel, The Intuitive Teacup. I'm so happy to have you all here with me today. Welcome back to the returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for your love and support. And welcome to the newbies. I'm stoked to have you guys. I'm happy you stumbled across this channel or it was shared with you. Either way, welcome. So we are going to do a general message. I'm a little bit late. This is going to be for the second half of July into August. I was on vacation with my family and I just needed some R&R, so apologies for the delay. Thanks for your patience. We're going to jump in and see what we can get for the sign of Leo. So do bear in mind, these are general messages. Not everything I say is going to resonate with all the Leos out there. Please, please, please never force anything to fit your circumstance or scenario. Only take away messages for your best and highest good that resonate with you. And you will know intuitively what those are. If you would like additional messages or more clarity on anything I offer you here today, feel free to check that Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign for additional messages. If you don't know how to do that, there will be a link in the description box below. And in that description box will be everything else you're going to want to know about this video, including the decks I'm using, as well as the social media channels. Check those out if you're interested. I am the Intuitive Teacup on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so for my beautiful Leo friends, we're coming up on your season. We're not that far away. We're about halfway through Cancer season. For Leo. All right, messages for their best and highest good. We're going to hop in for Leo. So your first card that came up is Confidence. I believe Capricorn just had this card as well. Being clarified by the 9 of Dragonflies. So in this deck, it's the 9 of Cups. Really cool deck. I'm totally into the imagery here. So the 9 of Cups is the wish fulfillment card. Wishes coming true, dreams come true, or even projecting into the future of what emotionally, right, with Cups, it's Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, but water is emotions, love, feelings. Projecting into the future what's going to feel the best, what it is that you're seeking in your life that would be more emotionally satisfying. And so for some of you, it may have to do with exerting more power or confidence or kind of coming into your own a little bit. So I mean, I'm just maybe getting that some of the Leos out there have maybe gone through a period of time where their confidence was knocked a little bit. Maybe there may have been some sort of like troublesome relationship where, yeah, maybe just you felt like somebody kind of put you down or just wasn't treating you well. And so perhaps even subconsciously, it kind of knocked your ability to really recognize your value and your self-worth. Potentially with a lover, potentially even like a Gemini. It doesn't have to be, it could be with a family member. But I see that a lot of you kind of had to take like, what's the expression? Like sit around out or like almost like watch the game from the bleachers, that sort of thing. Like you didn't have it in you, you didn't have the zest to like be in the thick of the game and in the fight, however you want to say it. And so what I mean by that metaphorically is you took some alone time. I'm sort of getting almost like hermit mode a little bit, like soul searching, soul seeking, kind of things that are going to mentally and emotionally bring you back to like your baseline and allow you to recognize that value and self-worth again. Spending time in nature, spending time with pets, doing some sort of like healing therapy, even potentially with animals or again in nature, meditation, going on hikes, nature walks. But for a majority of you, it felt very individual, like just yourself or maybe you and a close friend. But again, it feels like there was a need to detach from people. Very interesting, Leo. But because, I mean, it is coming in with the wish fulfillment card, I do think if you're not at that stage now where you're recognizing kind of this, like this little bump or this, just difficult time. I'm not saying it well, but I think there is a recognition that you do want to get back into your power and you're starting to recognize, okay, I'm not happy now, so how can I get myself to a point where my dreams and my goals are back in the main focus, okay? So yeah, being clarified by the 6 of Cups. So this is more water energy, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. You may have been dealing with a water sign. Sometimes this can be the card of the past, of nostalgia, of happier, more innocent times. But instantly, Leo, with this, I'm getting it's an apology to yourself. Sometimes we can look at this card and the woman offering flowers to the child or whoever, male, female, it doesn't matter. It's symbolic of you forgiving yourself for past mistakes that maybe have been weighing heavily on you emotionally. And yeah, for a lot of you, I do think it has to do with a relationship of sorts. For most of you, I think it is romantic. But again, it could be a troubled relationship with a parent or a sibling or someone in your network of friends, a coworker. But yeah, you may have done some things that you're not proud of, but more so, it's what I'm getting is that you feel like you let people take advantage of you, and at the time maybe you weren't vocalizing how you were feeling, but you kind of took it, and you sort of reached a point where you were almost ashamed of yourself for not speaking up sooner or challenging that person on the way they were treating you. And so I think that has been sort of your soul-seeking like hermit mode time that you've been in or are in. And so you kind of come to the conclusion that again, it's more self-focused, that you're recognizing these patterns or behaviors in yourself, and you're wanting to forgive yourself and offer that cup of love to yourself, right? Maybe some of you are choosing to be single right now because it's just, you can't deal with kind of like the toxicity of some of the romantic relationships you've maybe been in. Abundance is coming up here. Yeah, so recognizing the self-worth, the self-value. Some of you may have had either a partner or even a parental figure, specifically a father figure who had substance abuse issues, particularly alcohol maybe. And I think that was weighing on you, again, emotionally, mentally, etc. And somehow along the line, it was making you question your value and self-worth. I don't know if maybe you saw yourself as enabling them or I want to say enabling or providing the money that supported this habit, even though you didn't agree with it, or even though whatever the case may be, they stumbled home drunk again and again, you'd always put them up in your place, in your apartment, whatever, because you were doing it out of the goodness of your heart, but you realized that it wasn't in your best interest. And yeah, I am sort of getting you were like an emotional support system for someone, but it was taking away from your value, your self-worth. It could literally be your bank account too. But what's optimistic is that I think you've recognized this now, and so you're ready to make those changes to, again, focus on yourself here, Leo. So the next card you have is the Warrior. Absolutely, this is you, like 100%. You're coming into your self-power again. I'm instantly get that image of Clark Kent like ripping open his shirt and he's Superman again. You lost sight of that, Leo, right? I say Superman, Superwoman, right? Male or female, it doesn't matter. I'm so sorry, guys. Ugh. Marcus Red, please stop doing that. Okay. You're in warrior mode. You're coming back into your power. And I think this has been a difficult road. I don't think this has just been a week or two of feeling this way. This feels like months, maybe even a year or so. But it's optimistic because, yeah, it's like you're putting on your battle armor again. Sorry. If it happens again, I'm going to pause the video. Sorry. You're putting on your battle armor again and trying to power through. So then, yeah, you have the Three of Dragonflies. So the Three of Cups, you have a lot of Cups energy. We are in Cancer season and you're a fire sign, Leo. So I do understand that, particularly in this time, perhaps it's forcing you to recognize and acknowledge those tricky emotions that you may have sort of been trying to keep at bay and not necessarily deal with. In Cancer season, it's like, all right, baby, let's talk emotions, whether you want to or not, right? And so the warrior in you is actually having to face yourself, I think is what this is. But anyway, Three of Cups is generally a very happy card. It talks about celebrations, about reunions. This can sometimes be like the happy hour card, going out with coworkers or friends to celebrate, or just, toss a few beers back, go grab a coffee, socialization. So again, coming out of that hermit mode and recognizing that you do have value, you do have great things to contribute, not only to the world and to yourself and your personal life, but also to friendships, to social networks, to other groups. So maybe this is you starting to take steps forward to be like, you know what, I should go out and meet my girlfriend, my guy friends for coffee, for a beer, or whatever, to kind of put the effort in to get yourself back out there into the world. Even if you're not seeking dating, it's kind of like turning over the page to maybe start a new chapter, releasing things of the past that, again, were knocking your confidence or just, not serving you. People and things and potentially a job that just isn't serving you. Yeah, so the moon card might be dealing with a Pisces. Again, more water energy here. This is one of my favorite cards in all tarot decks ever. I could talk about it for hours. I just think it's so great. The moon speaks about illusion, the idea of not seeing things at face value. When we're in a dark sky, the moon that provides light, it's not clear enough for us to see things with clarity, right? If things are shadowy, it's vague. You have sort of a vague idea or conception of what's being presented before you, but you can't take it at face value. The moon talks about cycles, right? As well as following your intuition and tapping into not only your own spirituality, but your emotions, right? And that's what we've been saying here, Leo. But this is about, as I was saying with warrior mode, you facing yourself. You facing potentially those really uncomfortable, sticky emotions that you don't always like to recognize, to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm actually really unhappy with myself. I wish I hadn't have let this happen, and it doesn't have to be like shaming yourself, but that is sort of what this card is implying, though, is that this confidence you're lacking, you're taking it out on yourself, and I want to be very clear, that's not a healthy coping mechanism. It is great to be seeking, it is great to seek, how do I want to phrase this? To want to improve yourself, to recognize aspects of your life that you're not happy with, and go into warrior mode and be like, you know what, I got this. I'm going to make some changes. Here's my game plan. This is what I'm going to do. But to linger in the energy of, this almost reminds me of Eight of Swords, like the I can'ts, because you're fearful of something. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I don't make enough money. I'm not worth it. People don't love me, etc. All that bullshit. That's sort of what this card is implying. What you're seeing isn't the truth. It may be things you're telling yourself, or potentially things that people have told you, and now that's how you see yourself. It's a false reflection. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So the fact that you are sort of metaphorically stepping into the mirror, if you will, to face yourself, Leo, is fantastic energy. But I do just want to note, keep it light. Don't focus on the negative aspects of don't focus on the negative aspects of this is everything that's gone wrong in my life. This is everything I've done poorly. Instead, acknowledge that, right? And then, cool, that's the past. This is the card of the past and apologizing to yourself, right? Now it's looking forward. It's projecting into the future, gaining back that confidence. Almost chariot energy, right? Getting back on that horse, balancing your dark and light energy and moving forward victoriously. That's what's important here. You don't need to punish yourself anymore, Leo, if that's what you have been doing. And taking that to a greater perspective, if you feel like you're being punished by other people in your life and they're constantly reminding you, again, of those negative, lower vibrational thoughts of you're not good enough, I hate that you do this, and I don't like this about you, those people, cut them out of your life. You don't have any sword energy, but I'm flat out telling you, those are not the people you need to be going out and celebrating with, or potentially getting inebriated with. You have a lot of cups and emotional energy here, so be good to yourself. Vanity. Okay. Interesting. I'm sorry, guys. Interesting. Okay, so something about this is not going to be for all the Leos, but something about this is when you're throwing yourself into warrior mode and you're pumping yourself up and you're going out there, some of you are feeling like you need to overcompensate. Perhaps because you've been in hermit mode for so long that when you go back out there and potentially celebrate with friends or whatever, it's almost like you're peacocking. And for some of you, if you have friends that are probing of like, where have you been at, Leo? We haven't seen you for months. What's new in your life? This and that. Instead of either redirecting the conversation or just being like, oh, things are good, blah, 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 changing the subject. Some of you, because again, facing those truths of emotion, those difficult, rocky emotions potentially, some of you are overcompensating and you're appearing like this mighty god in front of the people who, it's almost like you're spreading, I don't know why, like the words of gospel, but you're overextending yourself, you're elaborating on stories, there's fictitious tales being told, you're in kind of this power mode of, well, I have the floor and I have the attention, so my life is wonderful and I'm doing this, and that's not needed here. That comes from a place of lower vibration because you're worried about what other people are thinking of you. know your inner truth, and if there are certain things that you're not comfortable sharing with other people yet or ever potentially, that's your prerogative, Leo. You don't need to share, but you also don't need to overindulge in falsities, like lying to the crowd, or it has to do with vanity, right? We know this. Trying to make yourself look better, because it comes from a place of lack, of not feeling good enough. And I'm just getting that something about that is not going to help you. So that's going to be a little bit different for everyone. But I mean, you know, if you're hanging out with your friends and family and people you love and trust, why would you want to tell them things that are not true, right? I would just keep that in mind. Be yourself here. And again, healing is a very personal process. You don't need to go out and socialize until you're ready to, right? And I do feel like some of you are definitely headed in that direction. So if you're going through a tough time, I feel for you. I can absolutely see that here. So heal in your own time. Go at your own pace. Lovely. Okay, there's that lighthearted energy. So Playful is your next card. And the 4 and the 4 come to an 8, which is your card, Leo. It has to do with strength. And your strength is, in a sense, being very charismatic and fun and playful, right? That very much speaks to me of Leo energy. And I don't mean this to sound like condescending, but the idea of this cat playing with this beam of light, and it's fascinated, and it's pawing at it. This is representing you going back to whatever it is that was once your wish fulfillment or your desire or your goal. Once you, again, recognize that you've maybe been in a place where you weren't thinking a larger scale, you were kind of stuck in the negative, lower vibration headspace of whatever this is. Once you, it's almost like once you reactivate that switch, that button of, oh yeah, wait, I really want this. This is what my future should look like, or this is what my heart is calling me to do. There's a playful energy, and it's like a weight will have been lifted. Lighter times, good energy. Again, celebration mode kicks in, and it's a happier, lighter energy. That's very encouraging and optimistic. So then you have the 2 of dragonflies, the 2 of cups. So again, more cup energy, partnership, friendship specifically. Again, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, it doesn't have to be water signs. You may have some very strong water in your chart, Leo, which you're in warrior mode too, because I think you're trying to combat that Leo fire energy with this very heavy emotional, like water energy that you've been facing. And yeah, it's very much like Temperance, the blending of opposites. It's fire and water. I would be surprised if that card didn't come up here, but this has to do with balancing yourself, even because of the 2 of cups, and how, if you're familiar with the card of Temperance, it's the love angel Michael pouring cups back and forth into each other, and it's this blending of cups. This talks about self-healing and self-nurturing. Again, taking care of your goals and your desires and whatever you want your life to be. That's what's important here. And naturally, when you focus on you, when you're vibing high and you are sort of on a mission of self in improving yourself, in loving yourself and respecting yourself, again, following whatever your heart is calling you to do, that naturally attracts people of the same tribe. They're going to look at you in admiration, much like this cat is looking at this like play toy, right? That could represent you, Leo, right? You're naturally going to draw people's eyes and attention and affection. And again, I'm not saying rush into any sort of relationship. If you're not seeking that, take your time to heal. But that might actually open the doors for more people to come into your life who may treat you better, or their goals in life are more aligned with where you're at in your life right now, Leo. So yeah, go focus on you. Go after what's in your heart. Don't focus so much on other people in your life right now. Like, now is the time to be selfish. And I use that term very lightly, but I think you understand what I'm saying. This is not the time in your life to be trying to please other people. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. So we also have the Page of Cups. Okay. So wow, so much cup energy. More Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. This can sometimes be an apology. For most of you, I don't think that's what this is going to be. For a select few, again, if you're dealing with someone very specific who you've kind of been having a rocky relationship with, sure, that could be that. What this always speaks to me about, though, is the idea of someone being afraid to get in touch with their emotions. And we've sort of been saying that the whole time. And again, no shade, Leo. I don't mean this to sound condescending or like I'm pointing the finger at you. There's no judgment here. But this has been a theme in your spread. And the way this little girl is, she's approaching this cup, right, that's full of love, emotions, right? It's covered by this like octopus sea creature. So there's something about the idea of fear or at minimum the idea of being hesitant to even discover, to even take a closer look, to unveil the whatever, the tentacles, the octopus legs, and see what's actually in that cup. There's something that's giving you pause or hesitation or self-doubt. And again, it has to do with love, but it's one cup here. It's the page. It's love of self. You may have, I don't know how I want to phrase this, but you may be quite new to the idea of actually loving yourself, which is actually a very heavy message. But for some of you, it's like you've either been giving your cup, your love, your emotions to other people your entire life and never actually recognized that you deserve love as well. Or you, and again, no shade, no judgment. If this applies, take it. Some of you have been seeking the feeling of being loved via other people coming to fill your own cup, if that makes sense. But the thing is, love has to start with ourselves, right? We can't rely on other people to make us feel good, to make us feel loved, to make us feel wanted and desired. That has to start with self, recognizing, again, your own self-value, your self-worth. Oh my God. And that's what this is saying. Approach the cup, even though it may scare the shit out of you, to actually look in the mirror, recognize things you're not happy with, and love yourself despite whatever errors or mistakes you think you've made. Pick up the cup and try, Leo. It's encouraging you to love yourself. That's what this is. All right, so the last card we have here is isolation. This is you cutting somebody out of your life. Remember how we were saying that? Now there's no sword energy here, but I was sensing that anyway. This is metaphorically that person who's been coming home drunk on your doorstep and you put them up for the night and then another night and again, or again, an unhealthy or toxic relationship or whatever, male or female, it doesn't matter. This is you kicking them out the door and seeing that piece of clothing they left in your apartment. And yes, it is going to spawn some sort of feelings of, should I have done that? Did I make the wrong move? Was I too harsh? It's reminding you to start with the self. You need to love yourself first. So isolating yourself from the people who aren't serving you, from the people who are making you question your self-worth. This is driving me nuts. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to turn it off. Ugh, okay. Sorry, guys. It's cutting out the people who aren't serving you. And the idea they appear in a tuxedo, they may look like James Bond or whatever, the female version of that. There's something very charismatic and alluring and intoxicating about this person, but that's exactly the problem. It's like they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Their intentions are not good. What they're presenting to you, this cup of love that they're presenting you, potentially, if this has been in a relationship, it appears like it's full, but I just want to say, like, when you actually taste the cup or whatever, it's sour, it's stale water, because they don't love themselves. Their water has become really like spoiled and mucky, and like it's like fungus and bacteria starting to grow on this like cup of still water because the energy isn't flowing with love. And I think maybe that's what's happened to you, Leo, as well, as you've been tapping cups, so to say. That sounds kind of sexual. You've been tapping cups that there's just nothing there that's helping you, that's aiding you, that's fueling your own love of self, that's making you feel good, because it's not starting with the self. Again, you need to seek partnership that is only going to add and complement your own lifestyle versus either distracting you from your own goals and path in life, or again, taking like the beautiful cup of water that you do have for yourself and spoiling it by investing in the wrong people or again, even the wrong job with family members, whatever, something that isn't serving you. There's a need to cut people out who, again, appear to be a certain way, but they just are not. They're not James Bond. I'm trying to think of like a good metaphor for that, but like, you know, they're like the evil villain in the scenario, right? Male or female. For most of you, you're going to know who that is already. And this could also be symbolic of, it's kind of going back to what this was. If some of you have not been in hermit mode yet, this could be symbolic of you like hanging up like the going out dress or the going out suit, whatever you wear to like get all dolled up and pretty and paint the town red. This is you taking a breather from that. It's putting that, you know, metaphorically, that type of clothing in your closet and putting it to the side. So you can, it's like you can strip yourself down and go back to the self, to loving yourself, right? There's something very sweet and innocent here. She's a child, right? She's a page of cups. She's learning about her own emotions. She's not quite skilled in the arena of love at this current moment, right? Again, something has maybe knocked your confidence, right? And now you're kind of having to go back to the drawing board and learn to love yourself again. Kind of a heavy message, Leo, but it is optimistic because of this. It's like focus on what you desire and what you love, okay? Focus on yourself before anyone else. And don't get caught up in the glass half empty or the negative self-talk to a point that just doesn't serve you anymore. It's time to be like, okay, I'm not happy about this. What am I going to do about it, right? Making goals and projecting into the future, essentially your wish fulfillment and what you want. What is it that you want in life, Leo? That's what this is asking you. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you liked that. I hope whoever needed to hear this message did. Please do like, share, subscribe. I apologize a million times for all those dings. I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. I will catch you soon, Leo. Have a good one. Bye, guys.